One day, when I was 16, I was on BuzzFeed, don't ask, and I came across an article about a TV show made by an up-and-coming stand-up comedian. It was called Zach Stone is Gonna Be Famous. I consider myself a pretty big stand-up comedy fan, but I had no idea who Bo Burnham was, and like most edgy teenagers, I had disdain for MTV. But my trust in BuzzFeed, again, don't ask, led me to watch the penultimate episode of the series as well as the finale. So in contrast to my last video, which was about a terrible TV show starring a beloved stand-up comedian before they peaked in popularity, today we're looking at a great TV show starring a beloved stand-up comedian before they peaked in popularity. Also, we gotta ride that inside hype train, am I right? The show centered around Zach Stone, played by Burnham, who has hired a camera crew to follow him around for the summer after graduating high school, as he attempts to get famous in several ludicrous ways. He didn't really care how he got famous because Zach saw it as a fix-all for all of his problems, present and future. One week he tried to make a hit song, one week a sex tape, one week he tried to go missing. Zach viewed being famous as an instant ticket to longevity and fortune. Fame was this abstract concept in his head that was the solution to any problem. It doesn't matter how he got it, what mattered to him was that he got it. It being on MTV made the exact right audience and the exact wrong audience at the same time. Bo Burnham made a show about celebrity culture and obsession with fame on the channel that celebrates celebrity culture and rewards obsession with fame. With shows like The Real World and Teen Mom, he was satirizing the exact people he made the show for. Zach Stone came out 8 years ago, so it was around when reality TV was much more popular than it is today, coming out at the right time. One could argue that it would even be more appropriate today in our current culture with fame being more attainable than ever through the internet and things like TikTok and Instagram. With a little bit of tweaking, and Burnham's proven track record of quality in recent years, the show would likely be a hit if it aired today. The first episode opens with Zach Stone trying to steal the show at a funeral. It's a dark subject matter, and it's perfect for showing what kind of person Zach is, wanting and willing to grab attention by any means necessary.
I knew Susan as well as any of you. She was black. She was black, okay? She was black. Deal with it, Dad.
He's kind of like a Michael Scott character. The show is very funny, as is to be expected by something created by Burnham. It just doesn't get as introspective as a lot of his later work does, but the format of an MTV show probably wouldn't allow for that. I mean, Zach Stone and Daria are probably the two most intelligent shows ever to be ran on the network, so it's not a bad baseline, but even Kanye rap might be a little too much for the MTV crowd. Maybe they had plans for season 2 to give a deeper dive into Zach's psyche and mental state, as well as his family's, giving a source where he gets it from, but we'll never know as it was cancelled after one season in June of 2013. This is also the kind of show that would be perfect for those out-of-context clip compilations you see on YouTube all the time.
Yes! Oh my God, I have been waiting for this kind of momentum all summer, and finally, the winds of change are blowing me. I'm gonna have sex with her on camera, distribute it on the internet, and become famous. You know, Zach stuff. I need to connect to the youth market. They're the real consumers, and they're very easy to spot. They're young, they're annoying, they've got a bunch of dumb trophies that I could have won if I wanted to play sports.
The show is not without its flaws, however. One thing the show does not have going for it is that it doesn't really show off Bo's musical talent in many ways. The theme song changes every episode to fit the theme of the episode, the storyline of the episode. But other than that, his musical talent is not shown at all, which I think is one of his primary strengths.
Zach Stone is gonna get a makeover. Zach Stone is gonna make a sex tape. Zach Stone is gonna get wild, cause Zach Stone is a master dater. Zach Stone, Zach Stone.
If you're one of those people who can't watch Scott's Tots because it's too cringy, Zach Stone probably is not for you. Zach can be a very difficult character to root for. He can do very detestable things, and the writers try to redeem him in some way by the end of the episode by having him do some kind gesture to his family or saying something nice to his friends, but it doesn't absolve him of sin. It's worth mentioning there's an interesting parallel between the show and Burnham's real life. In the 5th episode of the show, Zach talks to his father about going to college versus pursuing his dreams of being famous. His dad mentions how it's hard to do something different from all your friends during post-high school life. Bo essentially did the exact same thing. He deferred his admission to Tisch School of the Arts in New York to pursue comedy, while all of his friends went to college. In an interview with The Guardian, he said in his first year he wanted to fucking die by seeing all his friends on Facebook at parties while he was on the road in places like South Dakota. Burnham certainly has a unique point of view when it comes to fame and celebrity. It's also a mockumentary in the best possible way, in that there's an actual established reason for the camera crew to be in the show, and they have active characters, which are all pretty interesting. The camera crew actually has lines and get invested in the lives of Zach, oftentimes taking time out of their own lives and continuing to film Zach when he asks them not to in order to kill their curiosity and see what goes on in his life.
I am Andy. I am Zach's brother. I am 15 years old.
Good. And he's my boom operator, too, because he loves me so much.
Okay, I have a question. How old are you? No, for real. Think how old you are, because Bo Burnham had this pilot ordered in 2010 when he was 20 years old. He filmed said pilot a year later. This guy's been honing his craft and has been talented from a very young age. It's one thing to do stand-up in your early 20s, It's another to write and star in a comedy series on national TV in your early 20s. I'm not saying one is harder than the other, but they're both incredibly difficult to succeed at. Even getting one season on your own, especially at such a young age, is near impossible. Especially co-creating and writing a show is so impressive to me. Bo went on to do more things in his career, so don't worry about him too much. He even joked about the failure of his show several times in his stand-up routine after the cancellation.
Had a show for one season on MTV and got canceled. Yeah. It's so shitty my fans cheer at the cancellation.
He also proved he's more than just a stand-up comic in many ways by directing and writing his very first feature film, 8th Grade, to critical acclaim and box office success. Who knows what the future holds for him?